Alan, let's talk about a movie called The Critic. It's playing in limited release.
Yes.
I don't know anything about this movie. But
Okay,
it stars Ian McKellen. So I'm curious, what is The Critic about?
okay. Well, can you guess what Ian McKellen is in this movie?
I assume he's the critic.
He's a critic. Yes. It takes place, I believe, in the 1930s, 1940s. Ian McKellen plays a critic. He's a drama critic. And in the beginning of the movie, he describes the role of a critic as a judge. Judge in a way that his words has meaning, his word has influence, and his word has power. And he attends a play starring. Let me get the name here. Starring Nina, played by Edgerton. She's not a very good actress, and for the last several plays she's been in, he's just kind of lambasted her. He calls her basically just. He can't stand the tone of her voice, the sound of her voice, and he's just ruthless on her. So that's the basic story of Ian McKellen's character. But what's going on is the paper that he's working for, the owner dies. He's been working there for decades, and his son comes in, played by Mark Strong, and decides that changes need to be made. Everybody that we need to reduce the budget, and that means people are going to go. And so Ian McKellen's character hangs out with his other older critics and older reporters, and realize that they're on the chopping block. And everyone of that group is fired except Ian McKellen. Jimmy is the character's name. And then the new owner says, "You're on probation right now. You need to be nicer in your reviews," because he's very horrible in his reviews, and he needs to stay out of trouble. Well, immediately we find out that Jimmy is gay, and he's making out with his boyfriend, and he gets caught. And owner comes in, bails him out, and says, "Well, here's your notice." And so what begins is a plot by Jimmy to get which involves Nina to seduce the owner. Now to blackmail him. And what winds up happening is more blackmail comes in. Suicides are at play, unaliving is. And this is basically, I would call this a very polite version of Dynasty. Because at the second half of the movie, everyone is being really mean to each other. Everybody's being conniving to one another. Everyone is plotting against one another, but they're doing it in a very polite British way. Yeah.
Is the tone a comedy or is it like a thriller?
It's a drama. And I'll tell you why. The reason it's not a comedy and the reason it's not a thriller is the stakes are very low. We're talking about people's jobs here. We're not talking about millions of dollars. We're not talking about drugs. We're not talking about that. We're talking about an old man who's trying to keep his job and the lengths that he'll go to doing that, the people he involves, and then this kind of web of blackmail and intrigue. And I use the word intrigue very, I'm overstating the word intrigue here because it's very polite. And look, great actors. Everyone in this movie is a great actor. Leslie Manville, Mark Strong, great actors. But this movie is just the stakes is what keeps this movie from being anything great. Because the stakes are very low, even though there's unaliving because of Jimmy's actions, very low. Look, if you want to watch good acting, watch the movie. But this is one that's just gonna be forgettable. We'll never talk about this movie again.
So, what do you rank it out of 10?
I give it a 5. A 5. I mean, look, you get that it's you got a great cast together but the movie is just unworthy of their talent.
Yeah, I noticed it wasn't playing. It was like playing in one theater and the times were limited. I mean, I'm surprised a movie like this got released. It looks more like a streaming film. So
yeah,
anything with Ian McKellen has me interested immediately.
Yeah, he's very good. I mean, it falls into a few tropes and it doesn't. It's like Ian McKellen is a gay writer. They don't play it up as much as you think they would. And then he's essentially the antagonist and the protagonist. He's the bad guy in this movie. Yeah. And again, the only reason I knew this movie existed was one day I was looking for a movie to watch, and this was on the AMC list there, so I saw it.
All right, let's go to. So you recommend it?
No.
Non-recommend from
No,
Alan.
yeah.
Well, there you go. A critic gave the critic a not recommend. Thumbs down.
I would
5 out
say
of
I'm not
10.
the only one. I wouldn't be the only critic to do that.